All right, traders, a very warm welcome to you all. Devang here from the Financial Analyst, and let's talk about the markets, what happened today, and what's to come. So, it was a beautiful day. It was a really good day, and I'm thankful to God and the markets for obliging our analysis. You always have to be thankful in life, no matter what you do. So, let's start with the lessons for the day. I don't have anything much to speak. Uh, my view remains unchanged. So why it's better rather than wasting our precious time in these videos, it's better to teach something new that I have encountered in the markets. Let's start with something simple. Number one, learnings from my poor bad times is accept your mistakes, accept when you're wrong in the markets. That is, I think, the most powerful thing that you can do, right? Why am I saying this? It's because a lot of traders, they become emotionally attached to their positions. If, for example, I take a short in the market, when I take that trade, I become so emotionally attached, I forget everything that goes around it. See, try to understand technical analysis, right? Is a stressful job. Right now, when I'm looking at the markets, right now, when I look at the charts, I have a good 80%. I'm aware 80%. I have the knowledge. I know what's happening in the market. So I have that 80% accuracy chances. Now, let's say when I take a trade on the short side, example, I'm not saying take a short, but if I take a trade on the short side, I forget my accuracy, my awareness from 70, 80% goes to 50%. Why? Because when I am short, I find confirmation bias. I'll give a call to Himalaya and I'll say, yeah, things are not looking good on the upside. We are at all-time highs. Up to short banta hai. There's no point going long now. So I'll start to look. So if Himalaya says, no, nahi, yaar, Devang, you're wrong. I'll start to call some other people. I'll start watching news. I'll find something bad in the economy, and I'll base my entire analysis on that person or that news. So we look for confirmation bias, but we'll never accept when we're wrong. I explained last night, markets are a form of nature. They are unbiased. They don't care who you are. You might be a really experienced trader. You might be a newbie in the markets. Markets don't care. It's you and your conscious that has to accept that. And when we're in a loss, so 50% awareness is when I'm in a position. Now, when I start seeing red on the screen, when I start to see red on the screen, our awareness goes to 30%. We really are so emotional with the trade. We don't want to let it go. And we always think that God will turn that trade around. It's the harsh reality of life. God will not always help you. It's a proverb that you heard, I think, throughout your life. God helps those who help themselves. So why don't you consider that when you're in a loss? I'll give you an example why I bring it up, because this is one of the most important, most frequent messages I get on all my social media platforms. That how should I accept loss? I'm in a very big loss. What do I do now? Can you help me recover it? So I'll tell you something. I think 2 weeks back or something, I think we were maybe at this point of time. Uh, I think it was 4th of May, or it was, I think, this time, 12th of May. I think at this point of time, uh, the inflation numbers in America came out, and they were very, very high. They were very, very high. And that people feared that the taper tantrum will start. People feared that the Fed is going to increase the rates very soon. People feared that the Indian RBI is going to start to increase rates. That's going to have a pressure on the markets. And at that point of time, I had some ideas, I had some calculations, and I put up a video. I still remember that video. I said, markets, things are looking bad. You might be remembering that video. I said, things are looking bad. The sky is overcast. Maybe we see pressure in the market going forward, but buy the dip, buy the panic. Those words are still there. But you know what happened? I was good short there. I was in a good quantity short there. Markets the next day did respect. They did come down, but something happened. Something's changed. And after that point of time, I think I've never gone short. I think I've never gone short, and I've never told anyone on Telegram or any of the communities to go short, because things changed back at that time. We crossed our 880 levels, and our technical respected that. So I did not. I accepted that. Nahi, Devang, that video was wrong. You have to change your stance. But I accepted. That's what I expect everyone to do. When you go wrong in life, it could be anything. Accept it. That's the toughest job to do, but that is something that'll give you redemption. So that's a lesson that I've learned in my life. Point number two, banter. A lot of people asked me. I was actually surprised people didn't ask me, but I got two messages. One from my mentorship client, and one on YouTube. He said, this person said, what happened to your quantity in options? We are very accustomed, acquainted to see you holding 30,000, 40,000 quantity shorts in ICICI or longs for that fact of matter, but now you're trading very less quantity. What happened with the quantity? And and I was also people always expect something bad, but two things happened. It's a question that you might be waiting for. Two things happened. Number one, ever since this day, ever since that video came out, I have become aggressively bullish in the markets. You all are aware of that. We have bought so many things at this point of time. I mean, a lot of recommendations have come in our communities. I've become aggressively bullish because the cycles change at that point of time. I've been telling you the next 20 days, buy the panic as much as you can. We'll come to that later. And at that point of time, I realized that, rather than doing intraday every single day, why don't you start putting money in equity that matters? And this was the point of time when you saw me getting aggressive on equity. And right now, I'm heavily invested. Let me tell you that. I'm giving you names every single day. They might not perform for a day or maybe a week, but they will perform. You trust me on that. You have my word on that. We have some companies that it's stop loss. Cummins is not performing. I accept it. I think it's at 800. It's not performing. I told you all, short-term guys can book a loss, but long-term guys can stay invested. There always are some people that don't perform, but it's always about you diversifying, not putting everything in one basket. So remember that advice as well. So at that point of time, I decided you have to now get away from Nifty Bank and really put your money somewhere that will yield you returns in the long term, because money is made by waiting. Money is the wealth creation is done by waiting. And at that point of time, I bought PSU banks, financials, a lot of them, another name, ITs, a lot of companies have been bought. So I had to allocate a lot of my options, futures, corpus to the investments, because the capital is limited and you have to keep on shuffling it. Point number two, it's always about knowing what asset class that you need to be in. Options, futures, derivative, it's a different asset class. Equity is a different asset class, different types of returns. And it's not always about putting everything in the markets. There are also different doses of investment. You have debt, you have NCDs, you have the basic ones, FDs, RDs. There's so many of them. And you have to decide at any point of time what's the allocation depending upon the market's profile. What's the allocation that you need to do? And this was the point of time I decided I need to withdraw some money from my options corpus. So that is one primary reason why I have reduced capital. But that does not mean Devang Mehra has reduced it all for always. I have told you for the next 20 days I'm bullish. Next 20 days I've given you that in the number. So that means the next 20 days you can expect my option trades. It will be there. You will get it in the groups, but they will be of low quantity. Whatever options profit I'm getting, I'm going to get it out, put it into equity. So my options corpus will remain small for the next foreseeable future, 20 days at least. Secondly, I forgot my point, but that is one thing that I wanted to mention. Yes, I remember before. I'm very sorry I take too much time in explaining things, but this is my life, and I think a lot. I think a lot, and I use YouTube as a platform to document myself. More than doing it for everyone, I also do it for myself. I watch these videos 10 days back, 20 days back. I see how accurate have been, what things I've been doing. Is it changing my life for the better or the bad? So that's why I spend too much time on YouTube. I love talking to myself. You can say that, self-obsessed. So now going forward, one very interesting thing. One of my colleagues in America, when I was in America, one colleague of mine gave me this solution, and it's helped me a lot. Now, what is this solution? This person said the biggest problem in the markets is fear and greed, right? It's always been fear and greed. And when everyone is fearful, you have to be greedy. When everyone is greedy, you have to be fearful. Most people do loss because they're too over positioned. They put too much in a particular basket. Now, coming to that point of time, I actually was very greedy in the last couple of days, buying heavily into equity. I think every day you get names from me, and you all know very well that TFA does not give calls. So you have to understand the names that you get on Telegram is something that I have bought or Himalaya has bought personally. That's another hint I can give you for the future. So watch the videos and series. You will learn a lot. You will understand the entire view a lot. So I was getting heavily into equity, and I had decided I need to withdraw something from equity. I have to hold myself back. I can't put everything in the equity. Imagine something poor happens in the markets, equity falls. I will be at a risk. My money is at a risk. So you have to diversify on different investment ideas. So at that point of time, I was putting too much money in options. And this friend of mine, this colleague of mine in America, he told me, when you think you're being too greedy, and for example, today, I knew something that had to happen. I knew that the market's 30,000 calls will give you a fortune. I was aware. I could have put 4-5 lakh. I could have made 100%. Today we made around what? Today I made around 41,000. And this was, believe it or not, you can calculate the investment. It was around, it was on the investment of 59,000. That's all. So I made a good 80%, whatever that calculation is. I could have put in 5 lakh and could have earned 4 lakh. I could have done that. But this colleague of mine, he told me a trick, and it's worked very well for me in the past couple of days. So whenever I become greedy, I do this. Whenever I'm sure of a position, I put the least amount in that position. And I personally have never bought 5 quantities in Bank Nifty. I always put a lot of them. So today, as I was sure, I put so little quantity. So now when you put such little quantity, you know the loss and the profit is going to be negligible in compared to what I have seen. So that does not bring in any expectations. So when I do that for a week or so, that expectations that I have from myself, that people have from myself, die away, and I am guilt free. I am a better trader than ever. So that's something I always do. Enough chit chat. Enough chit chat. Let's get on with the markets, guys. Sorry for that. If you enjoy these videos, if you enjoy these lessons, banter with Devang, let me know. Hashtag banter with Devang, BANTER, for people who can't understand my fast English. When I think a lot, I speak too fast. It's a habit that I've got from the last 20 years, I think. So markets have been closing high every single day. They've been going up and up and up. And you are aware of this, right? Last 20 days, I've told you for the last 5-6 days, buy the panic every single day. Don't short. We might go intraday, but at the end of the day, if you're holding something, you have to buy and buy and buy. This is a concept that I call accumulation and distribution. Again, that I've learned from one of my colleagues in America. Accumulation and distribution. This is one concept that has really changed my outlook for the markets. You have to understand when the accumulation is going on, and you have to understand when the distribution is going on. A very simple fact of matter: the big money. You know, the markets move in a wave, in a structure, right? You can say a 5-wave up, 3-wave down, something like that. And you know, people like us, let's say, is a chart of TCS. Very recent example. When this peak comes, this is generally on some kind of news. Let's say earnings. I remember this. When the quarter 4 earnings started of TCS, that was the peak. When the earnings were announced, the peak of TCS was made. This is the time when every retailer starts to buy in the market. I have a simple understanding. If you see something in the newspaper, dump it. If you hear something on the news channels, dump it. Do not hold. That's the cue for the retailers to buy, and who retailers have to buy. So someone has to sell it to them. That's the FIIs. That's the big money. FIIs always, or the big money, HNIs, they always accumulate at the bottoms. And the sooner you understand, the better. And the sooner that you understand that we people always buy at the top and FIIs buy at the bottom, the better off you will be. And the markets, when they come down, we never think of buying at the bottom. The very recent example, when we were at 14,800, 700s, we were short. We tried to go short, but that was the time when the big money, were very overwhelmed and they bought the markets. So now, why I'm bringing this concept to you? Why do we guys always get fooled? Why do we guys always, most of the times, lose in the market? This is because of that. The earlier you understand, the better it is. Another approach. Why I'm bringing this up to you, but first of all, I am bringing this concept to you. I'm reminding this to you is because now we're again at a top, at an all-time high. It does not mean you go short. Let me put it very, very clear. I don't want to give any unnecessary hints. That's not a place to go short. You might see consolidation. You might see a sell-off for a day, but it's going to continue. And I've told you, my view is unchanged. That's why I'm doing a lot of time pass talks in the start to compensate with my videos. A lot of people don't want me to go below 30 minutes on video, so I have to say something. What I'm trying to tell you is, jokes aside, what I'm trying to tell you is we're not at the top right now. We will break the top. And today, tomorrow, whatever it is, we are going to break the top. And as I've said, the next 15 days now, maybe, I think 20 days limit is gone. It was something back then. So 15 days now going forward is still going to be fine. Does not mean a single short rally. It means you will get dip, but buy the dip. Don't think of holding shorts in the market overnight. That will be very, very risky. Forget the news. Forget the black fungus virus. Forget the coronavirus. Yes, it is bad, but markets don't really think about that. But what you are seeing in the market is not the price right now, is not forecasting today, is not the reflection of what's the economic events today. It's the reflection of the economic events 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line. Markets are discounting right now the unlock 6 months after, 1 year after. Markets are expecting, they're forecasting what will happen in the next 1 year, 2 years. That's what it is doing right now. So when you are trading right now, think about that point in your mind. Don't be an aggressive short person right now. The second thing is, I don't want you to start aggressively buying here also. Why? Because when you had to buy was somewhere over here. When you had to buy PSUs, when you had to buy IOC, all those companies which I have given, IT, it was days back. Don't start to buy on breakouts. Don't start to buy at 15,500, those levels. That is not your job. I hope you're understanding. That is not our job. Technically, what's the target? I did a video very long back, if you all remember. At that point of time, I'll try to find that video tomorrow and put it up in a preview. But a very long time back, I think about 4 weeks back or something, I put up a target of Nifty. That target was around 15,600. Why? See, whenever there is a channel consolidation, generally a descending channel consolidation, and when the breakouts happen, generally whatever is the range between this, the maximum range is something that is continued from when the breakout happens. That's the general rule of technicals. That's not what I am saying. That's how technicals have worked for the past 100 years before I've born. So if I use this approach, what's the target like, right? I think it came to 15,600 when I calculated. This is the maximum distance, right? About 800, 900 points. If I put that up from the breakout, this is coming around 15,700 levels, 600 levels. So somewhere over that, that's the room that has opened up for Nifty. So if you think Nifty is at the top right now, I don't think that's the true reality. I'm again saying markets can come down, but this level till 15,800 is open. It is open, but you have to be tactful when you buy it. You have to be tactful. You can't just buy any random point. You can't buy 100-point gap up tomorrow. That's not how you're going to make money. You have to find dips. You have to find aggressive sell-offs. In this kind of market, they will happen. Trust me. You will see some news, something happens, something triggers, aggressive sell-off happens. It's markets. Every 15 days, something like that happens. Obviously, you can't have markets going up every day. Even when the markets go in a single shot, you can see this point. You had aggressive falls. It will happen even in the future. But that is when you have to be tactful. Don't be a seller then. When that fall is over, buy the dip. Buy the closing of the day. Like I told you today. I hope you're understanding the entire outlook. The other thing is, I brought up the concept of accumulation and distribution. This is another way how you can understand it. Now, a lot of people I know started going shorts from this point. I remember from 15,100 levels, they went short here, they went short here, and they're still shorts. They're adding shorts, pyramiding shorts. I asked them one very simple question. I said, what's the reason why you are short? And everyone knows the answers. They said, nahi yaar, Nifty is at all-time highs, it's overbought. But don't you remember one point I made, all of you guys? Didn't I say at this point of time, when the RSI came to 60, you must be remembering that video. When that breakout happened, I said the rule of three, etc. video. I said the RSI zone has changed. We've never come to 60 in the last 3 to 4 months, and now we went at 60. That's a zone change, it's a zonal shift of RSI. So you have to become a buyer on dip. Number one. Number two, can you see any reason in the last couple of days to short? Look at this scenario. Every single day, markets have been giving you higher highs and higher lows and higher closings. Every single day, markets have given you all-time high closings, higher highs and higher lows. You guys know the structure. You guys know the Dow theory principles very well. Why do you short then? My simple question to you, why do you short then? Hasn't markets taught us already? This is a very general idea I'm proposing. Hasn't markets taught us already? No matter how low you go, no matter how low you go, no matter how low you go, you still get bought into. Markets are going to be at 30,000 in the coming, 10 years, 5 years, I don't know. Hasn't markets taught you that already? So try to understand again, I'm bringing the point up. Shorts last for a couple of days. Longs can last forever. When you are shorting the market, you bet against negative things. Death, poverty, unemployment. Do you think the government's not going to do anything about it? When you see a lot of death in the countries, do you think people are not thinking about that? People much more educated, much more qualified than you, they are. And the markets know that. That's why when the shorts come, longs enter with much more force. It's happened for the last 1 year, 1.5 years in the recent past. So the accumulation is in focus. If you want to go short, again, I'm not saying go short. I'm saying if you want to go short, at least get some kind of lower closing or lower highs or lower lows, at least wait for a day for that to happen. Also, we have got a weekly breakout. You all are aware of that. We got a weekly breakout last time. At least get some kind of weekly bearish pattern, something or the other to go short. So don't just go short because a 5-minute chart says go short. Look for the bigger picture and then decide to go short. We might go short in the coming days. I'm not saying we become aggressive by every single day, every single gap up. We might get a gap up tomorrow. We might want to short it. You will be alerted on Telegram. But at the end of the day, we will always think to go long for at least the next 15 days till June 18 or so. Now coming to the market, what happened today? Sorry, my videos are too boring, but some things need to be discussed. And I believe a lot of people are here to learn and they respect my points, and it's my responsibility to do this for you. Now look at the poll I did. I said how many people are holding what overnight. So a lot of people were smart. They said none. That's good. That's discipline. Which brings me to the point. Today people have made a lot of money. Today our Instagram was flooded with a lot of screenshots, which meant that a lot of people took calls today at our recommendation. So a lot of people have earned abnormal profits. Tomorrow, trade less. Trade 1/10 of your account, please. It's a simple rule of the markets. When you earn one day big, you lose that the other day, everything, because of that greed. Just rule number one. Today I told you something in the morning when the video started. Don't be greedy. If you earn something, don't have expectations out in the market every day. So trade small quantity. If you don't want to trade, don't trade. Markets are going to give you opportunities every single day. And 6% are in puts, right? I don't think we're going to get a gap down. Uh, but be careful. Be careful is all I can say. Calls, I think you will make some money at the gap up tomorrow. That is what I believe. The data does not matter today. The data does not matter today. It's the monthly adjustments. It really does not matter today. So I'm not going to discuss about it. One very positive news. Every Thursday, it's been great. The initial jobless claims, how many people in America filed for unemployment benefits, unemployment claims, has been at 4 lakh. That is low. That's the pre-pandemic level. That's the lowest we've seen in the last 1.5 years. So that's a very big positive that the markets have seen today, which will get factored in very, very soon in America. So that is also then going to trickle down to India. Economic recovery is happening. Unlock is about to start. Right. So today was all about 35,000 calls, 34,800 calls. We gave it twice to you, and hopefully you were in money. PSU banks doing good. So I've talked about all of that. One very important thing, guys. In the morning, I hope I saved a lot of people. Himalaya saved a lot of people from shorts. This is what I said. 924. I said I've exited all shorts. A lot of people were holding 34,500 puts. I remember that. Even today, that was in profit. Believe it or not, even today, from 120, it came to around 140, 150 levels, even today. So at that point, I said, I'm exiting all shorts. I said, even Himalaya said, avoid building shorts in BNF, please. And still some people are in shorts. It's my advice. Please understand the market better. I'm not saying we will be 100% right, but something that we bring to the table, you might not be able to do that. So please listen to these advice that we give you. I think they are worth a read. And I again said this. I said, whoever has taken BTST shorts, you are in profit. Book your profits. It's my advice. However, you can get 50, 100 points, more points on the downside. And we did. But I said, is it worth it? It's not worth it because the premiums are decaying very fast. Overall view is same. We are in buy on dip. And today when I came live, everything else was done. I said, find dips, align yourself with the trend. Don't make small money by going against the trend. Align yourself with the dip and go with the trend. That's what I said. All of these things have been discussed. I don't want to talk about that. It's going to be a waste of our time. But that's the entire view that happened today. And markets have been very, very strong. Now that brings me to tomorrow's plan. What do we do tomorrow? Right? By the way, every investment idea we've given holds. Every investment idea that I have given holds. Himalaya will update you on his holdings maybe by the end of the night or by tomorrow. If anyone has a doubt about what Himalaya has recommended, please get in touch with him. You have his numbers, you have his social media, you can always reach out to him. But every investment idea that I have given you stays. I have only asked today to book partially in SESC. We were in profit. We bought at 630. Today was 678 or something, 680. So we're in a good 5-6% profit on SESC. So we have booked that today. Also, Qumins India, I've given the advice. If you are stressed about it, book a loss. Cesc profit should violate the Cuban's loss. But if you are a long-term person, you can hold it more. Now Nifty has got a great closing. The RSI is still fine. So let me come to the plan. The plan is very simple for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. And I have been noticing one thing before I saw this video. I was seeing the charts, and every week, one of the days has been really, really, I would say, obliging to the bulls. 3% on 2% on Nifty, 4% on Back Nifty. So tomorrow is going to be that day. So a lot of people will be betting on that. A lot of people will be betting on that. That tomorrow let's go aggressive on the market. However, I told you today we made some money. Today we made a lot of money. So tomorrow, even if moves happen, we will be in positions but light. Okay? It's not about being heavy on every position. It's about sometimes being like a chameleon. You have to manage your risks also. Point number 2, we got a very, very good closing. Very good closing. Tomorrow you have to see where you open. If my calculations are right, it's a good gap up tomorrow. If you get a very big gap up somewhere at 14,450, 500, big gap up, my advice is book profits and longs. You all are holding Bank Nifty loans, then book profit in longs. Why do you want to hold it? Because we are in weekly expiries. You could take out investment and hold just profit as 0.0. You could do that. Or you could book the entire quantity, just hold one quantity for 0.0. You could do that. But I think if it's a very, very big gap up, then people will book profit. When will they book profit? On any 5-minute red candle? Any 5-minute red candle, they'll book profit. So keep that point in mind. When can new people buy? If the market opens gap up, I don't want any new person to buy. I've told you, you have to be very tactful. You have to try to deceive the markets now because they are at highs. Still, people are short, which means that you will get dips. I'm again repeating, there are still big people who are short. So you will keep on getting dips. But to be tactful is the word for the day. Buy those dips when they happen. Like today, when the dips happened, when this dip happened, Himalaya bought, he gave you the idea. I bought, I gave you the idea. Same Bank Nifty 480, it was the price, 30,000 call. But please be very, very tactful on, again, I'm using tactful, on not only the strike price, but also the expiry. Don't buy too out the money because Devang is saying next 20 days are bullish. You have to be very, very, again, tactful. I'm not going to use it again, I promise. But I don't know where I heard tactful, but yeah, I'm not going to use it for the next 1 week at least. Tomorrow, big gap up, avoid. You can try to short also. Do you remember what we did there? 35,000 when the markets came there first time. It's similar scenarios, don't you think? It's a very, very similar scenario. A couple of days back, we said markets, if they open at 35,000, we can short. Remember this point of time? It's something like that. Again, if you get a very big gap up, 1% gap up, you can short also at the top. Maybe for a very small, again, scalp only, but see a red candle, 5-10 minutes, then short. Otherwise, don't short. I am again saying I'm not a short person. When can you buy? See, right now I see good supports coming in. We have a good support at 34,800 now. Now this level you can see has been tested multiple times. So if you get a dip here, it's a good dip to buy. You also have a good support at 34,600, 700 level. It's again a good dip to buy. So try to find dips in the market like this and buy the market rather than going short. Again, it's Friday. You never trust Fridays. Never ever trust Fridays. Maybe some other thing, some reverse thing happens. But again, overnight, I'm not holding anything. Even if I get a 3%, 4% fall in Bank Nifty tomorrow, I will still not hold overnight shorts. I will still buy the market. That is how adamant I am on the bullish side right now. Okay, so if it opens flat, if it opens gap down, again, it could become sideways. It could then become sideways because people like this become trapped, right? It could be a sideways day. Again, then this point become resistance, this point becomes support. You can move in that range. But my idea is, I don't think it's going to be a gap down. Let's not be ready for that. If it opens flat, observe the market, use what has happened earlier. So let's say something like this, let market opens flat, it halts the entire day, then maybe in the institutional zone, you can buy the market aggressively. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say tomorrow the markets open flat and nothing happens. It keeps on moving in range. Then it's like a time correction taken place. So then what you can do is then buy somewhere around 12 o'clock, buy calls and hold them overnight. If you're already in calls, I think you'll still be fine. Because by 12 o'clock, then the range will be made. And when the range is made, whichever side it breaks, you scalp in that side. Overall view is bullish. If tomorrow morning, let's say you open flat, you start moving up, trail SL, you are all already in calls. I don't think it's going to be flat. It's going to be a gap up. It's going to be a gap up. That's what I think. So that's about Bank Nifty. I think it's clear. I don't have a lot of things to share. I don't want to give you different approaches saying the same thing. I already taught you one Fibonacci approach, one of these accumulation distribution, a couple of different approaches. All of them are saying the same thing. So I don't have to now teach you CCI or Bollinger Bands or moving averages to tell you again we are bullish. I could, but what's the point? What's the point? Because you know what I'm going to do. Eventually, that's what I'm going to do. Same is the case with Nifty. Same is the case with Nifty. It's doing fine. It's doing great. It's doing really fine. It's a good breakout. If it's a big gap up, I will book profits. Obviously, I will book profits. If it's going to be a flattish opening, observe what happens. Observe. If let's say markets open flat and they move sideways, fine. Let them be sideways. 12 o'clock buy. 12 o'clock buy, and you will get some money. I am very sure FIIs will pump in money by the end of the day. Number one. Number two, let's say you open flat and a dip comes in. Could be a possibility. Why not? If markets open flat, if people like you and me were expecting a rally or a gap up and it didn't happen, some people will book profits. And let's say because of that, markets do come down. You have supports. You have a great support at 280. It's not been broken the whole day today. 15,280 is a great support. Try to buy that support. If this level breaks, for sure buy 15,160. Sell some holdings and buy 15,160. I think that's great. 15,120. I think they're great levels. They're very good levels. So you have to find dips and buy. I've given you the view. I hope it is clear. If markets open, gap up, you sell it. You sell your holding, sell your positions. I think you'll be in profits in Nifty Bank. If they open flat, observe what happens. If they move sideways, fine, buy around 12 o'clock. If they do not move sideways, if it starts to go up like this only, good for you. Good for you. Trail the position. Trail the position. If markets give you some profit booking at the open, great. Buy that's the ideal one, I would say. Why? Because we are looking for dips. We are not buying gap ups. Not at all. We are looking for dips. Last time I used it. Be tactful. Be tactful. So 15. So for Nifty, supports are simple. The resistance is not a lot. There's no. Always remember, in a bull market, there is no resistance. Yeah, there is no resistance. There's always the support. You come down support, you'll break. In a bear market, there is no support. So if people ask me what's the resistance right now, we are in bull markets. There is no resistance. It'll be breaking every single day, like we've been seeing right now. So 15,280, 15,000, maybe 220, 15,160, 15,120. They're good supports. Try to find bullish reasons there and buy those supports. Same for Bank Nifty. Very simple. Supports, very strong supports, 450. I don't think this will break. If it breaks, some kind of short-term outlook change could be done. Could be done. Even that is not something to panic. But I think 34,000 is very strong. I don't see it breaking in the coming future. Again, I reserve right to be wrong. And please always consult your advisors before anything. Consult your advisors. But I think 34,200 massive support, 34,500 massive support. We have a very good support at 34, even 800 right now. So if you get dips into these regions, try to buy. That's all for now, guys. A little bit longer video, I think, but hopefully you found it useful, you found it interesting. And like always, I'll try to come in the live markets if I get some idea. But otherwise, you know my idea. Buy equity as much as you can. Thank you so much. Good night.